Dr. Ferguson, you're recognized for 5
Thank
minutes.
you, Mr. Chairman, and to the witnesses, thank you for being here. I must say, your answers regarding what Congress should be doing are much more kind than what I get out of my district most of the time. So thank you for your genteel responses. Ms. Funkhauser, let me start with a question to you. When we're looking at this proposal, this is a digital services tax, okay? So we're talking about taxing the services in the digital arena. So much of that is based on data and the value of data. Do you ever wonder then, given the fact that the U.S. has the highest quality data and the most tradable data in the world, does this open up, do you think that this avenue would open up problems with other countries taxing the value of our data? Not the services, but the value of the data. Do you see that as a concern?
Thank you for the question, Dr. Ferguson. And I'll say we have applauded the efforts of this committee as well as the administration when it comes to extending the World Trade Organization's moratorium on customs duties on electronic transmissions, because this does get to some of what you're talking about when it comes to how companies are able to engage abroad and stay competitive. And so we see maintaining the moratorium on customs duties and electronic transmissions as critical to maintaining U.S. competitiveness.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bunn, when we look at the JCT score of this, I mean, their range is like $1 billion to 400 billion, right? I mean, do you think that it's responsible to be moving in this direction without more complete data and understanding exactly the impact that this would have?
Thank you for the question. So if you read through the JCT analysis, one word that pops up regularly is uncertainty. There's not, in my view, a point at which we will have much more certainty on those sorts of numbers than now, and that range, 100 million to 4.4 billion, that is a meaningful range. And again, it's a single year estimate, not a 10-year estimate like JCT is normally able to provide. But there's just so much complexity in the policy itself that this is not like changing the corporate tax rate and JCT being able to do that in their sleep. This is a very difficult and complex policy that makes it hard to estimate.
So advancing without the rules being written and understood seems pretty irresponsible to me at this point.
I agree. And one of the things that is uncertain is how companies, the data that the companies themselves would use to comply with this is not all sort of in one place or clearly available for analysis.
Okay, this question will be for whoever can answer it, and if I'll just kind of point as we go along here. Do you think that there's a situation where the money, the taxes levied here could wind up going to China at any level? Mr. Bunn, I'll start with you.
Yes, the allocation, yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
Mr. Sprague?
Well, I haven't seen statistics, but if China is a net beneficiary of Amount A, then they would be able to tax the net Amount A transfer, but I've not seen any statistics on this.
Okay, Mr. Minor?
But Dr. Ferguson, could I respond to your taxing data question?
Sure.
If I
Well,
may?
I'll tell you what, real quickly, let me get through this
Okay.
so we got enough time. Mr. Minor?
Yeah, I haven't looked at that issue.
Okay, Ms. Funkhauser?
No, I do not have statistics on that.
Okay, Mr. Sprague, back to you for just a quick response on the data.
Taxing data,
tax.
yeah. No, it's a very interesting question, and the original DSTs actually tax the transfer of data. So one of the advantages of getting rid of the DSTs is to take away that tax that exists today in the DST countries on transfers of data. And keep in mind that the EC, not too long ago, proposed a general tax on data transfers. The tax world is in a very unstable place at the moment with ideas like the EC data tax, the DST, withholding tax on digital services. So to the extent that the system can be stabilized to get rid of all of those departures from international taxation norms, that I think is what would be good for U.S. business.
Okay, thank you for those comments. I'll say this, we should not be considering or supporting any legislation that allows $1 of U.S. taxpayer money to go to the Chinese Communist Party. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.